Hey everyone, welcome. Today's recording is a little bit different, right? This week I wanted to focus on kind of the reason why Advising the Way exists as a nonprofit, what our mission is, but specifically why we create this organization. Because what we did is for students like you. If you're watching this video, you probably saw like the title undecided major, undeclared major, need help with my major, going to college with no major. You're probably searching all these things online. And please know you're not alone. That is the most common question, concern, s- conversation I have every single semester. Every semester, when for over the past 10 years, I would say at least half of my students have no idea what they're studying. They have no idea why they're even going to college. They have no idea what they want to do with their lives. And again, it makes sense. You're 18 years old. So on paper, you are an adult. You can go into the military, right? You can vote, right? You're an adult. Your parents might tell you to move out of the house and go live your life. But the reality is that for the past, 15 years you've been in school or so, you really haven't made a choice yourself. You've been told where to go, what to study, what to do. You've had teachers, guidance counselors, or your parents. You've been placed in courses based on your test scores, whether it's your FAST, your FCAT, whatever they're calling it nowadays. So you really have never had to make a decision for yourself. And now all of a sudden, you graduated high school, and boom, here comes the real world. You're now being peppered with questions. What are you going to study? What are you going to do? Right. And now, once you got out of high school, in the adult world, and again, not all the time, but the most common conversation starters is people ask you, hey, what's your name? Or they ask you, what do you do? Right. And based on how you answer that conversation, it kind of depends, the way people treat you, right? Based on the status and prestige that comes with your job. So if you go to a party, tell people you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer, those are high status, high value jobs in our society. People will treat you that way. So what does that mean for you as a student? When you go to parties, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, with family and friends, and everyone knows you graduated high school, well, then the next logical question is, so what are you doing? Where are you going to school? Are you going to school? You have to say yes, right? And if you're not going to a university, which if you're watching this video, chances are you're probably not, right? Because my students are primarily from community colleges. If you tell people, for example, here in South Florida, Miami, you say, I'm going to Miami Dade College, Broward College, it's become more accepted. But in the past, these institutions kind of had a stigma. And that stigma was like the belief people had that if you were going to Miami-Dade College or Broward College, it's because like you did bad in high school, right? You didn't get you didn't get to university, right? But the reality is this, right? Yes. Do some folks go to colleges because they can't get to university? Yeah. I mean, the requirements to get into universities today is crazy, right? I look at the requirements today and I wonder if I myself, based on my scores 20 plus years ago, would even be able to get into schools today, right? And the answer is probably not. Even our local school, FIU, which people once thought or saw as like a safety school, now is a super highly competitive school. So the world has changed in many ways, education being one of those. Now, what I don't want is I don't want anyone to feel bad about where you're starting, right? You actually be proud about it, right? And here's what I mean. It doesn't matter really where you go to start because you're starting out. You're taking the same intro level courses. Now, yes, if you can't compare, I'm going to be going to Harvard or going to Miami Dade College, for example, there is a difference there, right? But if you just graduate high school here in South Florida and you're at Miami Dade College, it's really up to you what you do at the university. Sorry, at the college. Miami-Dade College has a bunch of amazing programs, a bunch of amazing resources. And yes, I am biased because I worked there for over 10 years. But I can tell you, all these schools have great programs. It's really up to you what you do with it. So, advising the way. what we do is we help people like yourself. We help you navigate the college process, explore careers, majors, and maybe even your future life goals and choices, right? So, if you don't know what you want to study, should you still go to college? That's a tricky answer, right? Only you can answer that question. But I would tell you, yes, you can, right? Now, yes, if you saw my other video on the business and the nursing, you realize that I showed you a plan in which you're completing all your Miami Dade College prerequisites, the prerequisites for your major to transfer out to FIU, for example, for business. And I showed you how to plan everything in a strategic and proper way. So you're probably wondering, well, wait, if my goal has to be so targeted, so planned for business, how can I come and take classes now if I don't even know what I'm going to study? So that's what we do, right? So today, in this video, I'm going to show you if you have no idea what you want to study, if you're not sure what major you want to pursue yet, you can still go to Miami Dade College. You can still take classes and you can still even get your degree completed, right? It'll become a little bit harder, but at least your first year, right? We can help you here today plan out your first year of college, which will get you roughly 30 credits without really knowing what your major is, right? So if you haven't watched our videos, I'm gonna just repeat this really quickly. In order to graduate from Miami Dade College or any other college, Broward College, Valencia College, right? All these state of Florida colleges, the amount of credits you need is 60 college credits. Once you've earned 60 college credits, you earn your associate's degree, right? Your AA degree, your AS degree, depending what your field of study is. The way that normally breaks down is 36 credits come from the core classes and 24 come from electives. So, because this video is geared towards people who don't know their major yet, we're going to focus primarily on the core classes that everyone's got to take, regardless of what their major is, right? Now, each class is roughly 3 credits. Some classes have a lab component, which is 1 credit, but not all classes do. So again, we'll kind of see a difference. In the last video, I showed you that for business, the accounting class has a lecture that's worth 3 credits and a lab that's worth 1 credit. And for nursing, you have anatomy and physiology, which is worth 3 credits, AMP1. It also has a lab, AMP1 lab, which is 1 credit. So again, not every major has that, but some majors do. So we have to be aware of that. Then the most important thing is you want to make sure you've already done this, is this Florida Civics Literacy Examination, right? This was a law that was passed in Florida that you have to be able to pretty much the way it works is if you even in high school you pass this test already or you took an AP course or you met the requirements that way, make sure you transfer those things to your advisor at Miami-Dade College right away. And guys, please don't mistake these videos as a substitute for an advisor, right? Advisors work for the college. They can help you. That's their job. They get paid to help you, right? I don't get paid to help you. I make these videos because I have this knowledge and I want to share it with you in hopes that maybe you're watching this at midnight or something and you just say, you know what? I'm going to do this, right? But again, you should always check with an advisor. Then, I mentioned this in your video. I'm going to say it to you here again as well. People always ask me if they should transfer early or they should go somewhere else. Listen, if you're starting at Miami-Dade College, if you're starting at Broward College, finish there. It'll be easier for you, right? One reason it's easier, in Florida, we have this agreement. It's called 2+2. Just Google it. Google Florida 2+2. It comes right up. This is an agreement that Florida made that if you go to a college, right? Community college, now it's just college, and you meet the requirements there, you can then transfer very easily to a university. So I was talking to a student last week, and they kind of felt down, telling me, "Oh, professor, when I was in high school, I kind of goofed around. I didn't take things seriously. Well, my friends that they took AP courses, to do the Roman courses, they all went to UF and I'm stuck now at MDC. And I told the student, I said, listen, here's the great news. Yes, your friends worked hard and made sacrifices and are starting at UF. But if you're here right now at Miami Dade College, you take your classes seriously, you put the work in, and you complete all your prereq courses and you graduate in 2 years, you can transfer to UF and you can finish your last 2 years of college at UF with your friends, right? And I mean, if you time it correctly, you could walk across the stage with those classmates of yours who in high school took the AP, took dual enrollment, had the 4.2 GPA, had the 15 SATs, right? You guys could almost walk the stage together, right? Because nothing is stopping you. You have the same exact opportunities, right? Now, I'll be honest though, it will be harder for you. Why? Because chances are, if you probably lack study skills, maybe you lack time management, you lack a clear vision, clear focus. So hopefully, that's my goal here in these videos to kind of help you get to wherever you want to go. It's UF, FSU, FIU, wherever you want to go, Harvard, I don't, doesn't matter to me, right? If you have a dream, we try to help you get there. So stay where you're at, right? And even though, yes, your major is important because the prereqs, again, I'm going to show you today like how we can kind of play around this a little bit. The last video, I showed you guys this as well. And again, I'm just going to switch back to tab to share this, right? And you guys, oh, my friends, I apologize here. What's going on? All right. Are we there? What's going on, man? Chrome. Are we sharing Chrome? Yeah, I think we are now. Good. No, we're not. Let me stop sharing, guys, and reshare this. I'm so sorry about this. Man, man, man. What a thing. All right. I promise, guys. It'll work this time. I promise. Magic. All right. So, this, I told you guys in every video, I'll say it again. Print this document out. This document is your baby. And what I mean is, this is going to be what you're going to be guiding all of your choices while you're at Miami Dade College. This document is super simple. And what it does is it breaks down the classes that you need in order to graduate. Now, remember I told you guys, this category here, the communications, everyone takes these classes. Doesn't matter what your major, you're going to be a nursing major, business major, doesn't matter, right? You're all going to take 1101, 1102. So if I'm sitting here with you building your class schedule out, you don't know what you want to study, that's fine. We're going to start with 1101, ENC 1101, which is English composition. That'll be your first class, right? Now, this category, oral communications, you normally take this after you've completed both of these classes, right? So we won't take anything in this category yet. The math category is tricky. And here's why I say that, right? The majority of majors, right, whether it's nursing, business, engineering, right, a lot of these majors will require you to take some kind of calculus, whether it's business calculus, calculus one, or sometimes, for example, in nursing, they only want you to take Mac 1105, at least to apply to the program, right? Now, if your algebra skills were weak in high school, maybe you're trying to avoid taking Mac 1105. Like I know I talked to a lot of students and they tell me straight like, "Hey, professor, like I'm gonna take MGF 1130 because I heard it's easier. My friends told me it's an easier math class. It's not like algebra based. I can just take it. It's an easier math, right? That's the perception students have about MGF 1130. Now, what's easy, what's hard? I mean, that depends totally on you, right? I mean, MGF 1130 tends to be more like statistics, problem based, logic, probability type math. So you're right, it's not the traditional like algebra path. But here's the problem though. Let's say you choose that easy math, right? Because you're undecided anyways, you don't want to study. You say that MGF 1130, right? But then let's say like next year, you decide, you know what? I want to do business because I really enjoy business. Well, now you have to go back and take Mac 1105. So if I was you, right, if it was me, I would say take Mac 1105 as your math because even if you like more majors require Mac 1105 than majors that require MGF 1130. And any major that you pick that doesn't require that totally take MGF 1130, they'll also take Mac 1105 for you, right? So for example, if you go into the humanities, like or social science fields, like sociology, psychology, right? What they really ask you for is statistics, right? So you could take Mac 105 and take statistics and still be a psychology major, sociology major, history major, right? But again, if you want to take this MGF course, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying be careful because if you don't take Mac 105, like a lot of majors require this course. So this is a good first step. Plus, some of you guys maybe took your test when you came into Miami Dade College and you didn't realize it, but you scored low on your math test. So you're being asked to take the first math course being MAT 1033. And I'm going to show you guys in the PowerPoint how I mapped it out per semester. But I'm always going to assume when I do these videos that you're taking MAT 1033 first, just because honestly, guys, a lot of my students have to take this math class first. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it doesn't count as a math credit, but it counts as an elective. So, I mean, you're not wasting your time. It's like back in the days, when I was a student, I remember there was like these low level math courses that like didn't count, like remedial math, but that's not the case no more, right? MAT 1033, like it counts for you. So, again, talk to your advisor, see where you're at. But this is one of those for math category. It depends what path you want to go to. But for example, let's say you want to hold off on math because you're not sure yet. You could take 1101, boom. Everyone's got to take it. Then we can jump to your humanities, right? Humanities, you need to take 6 credits or 2 classes. And again, here, it doesn't matter what you pick, right? If you're asking me, I always recommend Intro to Philosophy just because I enjoy philosophy, right? I think philosophy makes you think about the world, think about your place in the world. It makes you think about society, the individual. Like it just gets you thinking about the world. Like I've always liked philosophy courses. You dive into Greek, Roman philosophy, right? And sometimes even Eastern philosophy. So it's a great course. But if you want to take music appreciation, theater appreciation, by all means, you can pick them. It doesn't matter, right? And then we gotta take one of these social science courses down here. So remember, notice it tells you right here to meet the civic literacy competency requirement for graduation, one course selection should be AMH 2010 or AMH 2020 or POS 2041. So this is a course, again, everyone's got to take. Now, if you already completed this in high school, right, because you took AP classes or passed this test, talk to your advisor. But if you're not sure, right, or you didn't pass it, this could be another class that you take, and we're building your schedule. Okay, so let's jump back to the PowerPoint so you could see what I'm doing here and what I'm talking about and what I recommend. And again, make it your own, guys. Don't just follow what I'm saying here, right? We just spoke about this. So, and again, um, for this video right now, it doesn't really matter here, but just know I mentioned other videos. There is a transfer equivalency database, which you can kind of come in and check to make sure the classes that you are taking will transfer to the university in which you're planning on attending. There's more for like Florida schools, right? But again, if you're going to out of state, I would always check with that school and make sure the correct classes transfer over. Talk to your advisor here. But also, I had a student, she's trying to LSU. I told her, reach out to the LSU transfer advisor. Tell them, listen, I'm a Miami Dade College student. I'm pursuing this major. I'm taking these classes. Am I on track to transfer over? Right? They will respond to you, right? They'll respond to you. So here we go. Here's our first semester, right? Again, it says fall 25 because I'm making this video in fall 25, but swap that out for whatever you want. First class you're taking, notice ENC 1101. It's knocking out that first requirement for that communications category. Second class you're going to take is my class. You don't got to take it with me, but you can take it anybody you want to. SLS 1510. This is your first year experience in this course. You will be taught about Miami Dade College, the college process. You basically all these videos that I make, you'll be learning all these different things like how to graduate on time, how to transfer. You explore careers, explore majors, you explore yourself. There's journaling. It's totally up to you, right? I did put math here just because I don't want to waste time. But again, you can swap out humanities for math if you want to. But again, if I was you and you were given remedial math, MAT 1033, we're going to assume you're taking that one, right? We're going to assume you're going MAT 1033 for remedial math. Then your fourth class, remember you got to take 4 classes every semester. To be full time, you need 4 classes, total of 12 credits. So your fourth class will be one of these Florida Civics Literacy Examination requirement courses. Why? You need it. Simple as that. You cannot graduate Miami-Dade College without completing the requirements and passing the FCLE, Florida Civics Literacy Examination. So guys, please, please, please make sure you complete that. So here you go. Here's your first college semester with an undecided major, no idea what I want to study. I'm just taking the basic classes so far. Semester two, boom, here I go. I am now going to take my second class, ENC 1102. After this, I'm done with that category communications. I'm taking my math requirement. I'm taking Mac 1105. Remember, I told you I would choose to go with Mac just because a lot of majors require Mac 1105. And what you don't want to do is like be almost done at Miami-Dade College, decide, oh crap, I want to study business at FIU. I'm just giving an example here. Then have to jump all the way back to Mac 105. It's much easier if you already have Mac done. You don't gotta do anything, right? It's already done for you. You can just keep taking the rest of your math courses, your business calculus, your business stats, right? Whatever you need. Or you're applying for nursing, which, listen, I think in my classes, the two most common majors I get all the time are business and nursing. And it makes sense. Miami-Dade College has a great nursing program. A lot of students come to take the prerequisite courses to apply to the program. And MAC 105 is one of those requirements. So if you're thinking about anything in the medical field, nursing related, then take MAC 105, right? Our third class is our humanities. Again, I'm telling you take philosophy, but you can pick whichever one you want to. You don't gotta take philosophy. And your fourth class is your Miami-Dade College computer requirement, right? CGS 1060 is a requirement to graduate Miami-Dade College. So take it, right? You'll be done. So pretty much here's your first year of college. After you finish both these semesters, you finish your first year technically, right? And you have 24 college credits, right? Summer is a little bit tricky, right? I'm going to take this econ out because it's a humanities. We're going to put it in here. And again, I'm telling you to take the other. So I told you intro to philosophy for one semester. And the second course, I'm telling you to pick intro to ethics. Let's just go here and check what the number is. I forgot the number for ethics. Let's just check it really quick. Oh, again, guys. Well, I had to get better at the screen sharing thing. Let's see. Got it. All right, perfect. So remember, I told you here, PHI 2010 for your first humanities. Now I'm telling you for your second humanities, take PHI 2600 Intro to Ethics. Now, I recommend this one because some majors do require it. I made the other video that if you're doing logistics or supply chain at FIU, for example, they require Intro to Ethics. So I recommend take this PHI 2600 Intro to Ethics course. So let's jump back over to the PowerPoint. Let's make sure it went over. There we go. Oh, it's easy to jump to that. So it was 2600, right? So there you go. I am officially done my first year of college. I've achieved 30 credits, right? 30, right? 30 credits I'm done with. And I still don't know my major. I still don't know what I'm going to study. I'm still figuring it out. Now, I'll be honest, guys. By the end of the first year, I hope that when you took that SLS course your first semester, I hope that you've been having conversations, right? Like I recommend my students go talk to any adult you can possibly find that has a job and ask them like, "Hey, what do you do?" Right? You probably seen those TikTok videos of the kid who walks around, people driving the nice fancy cars. He's like, "Hey, sir, nice car. What do you do for a living?" Type of thing. Like literally, go to networking events. Go meet adults who have jobs and find out what do they do, what's their job like, how much do they get paid. Don't ask them like that, obviously, right? You can kind of work your way into it and start exploring different careers. And again, if you don't know, I am working on putting together a mentorship program. I have a couple of folks, adults who are working the field who have already told me yes, they're open to having these discussions with students. But again, like it depends on a case by case basis, right? So by year two now, right, we kind of need to have an idea because even though we're done here, right, it does bring us some questions. And I'm going to show you what I mean, right? Because by year two now, right, well, let's jump back to this main screen again. So at the end of year one, boom, we're done with this category, right? Let me move this here. I'm going to try and let me see if I can draw this. Yep. Okay, I can draw. So let's do this. This category, done. Year one, right? This category is done. Year one. This category is done. Year one. Now, this category is only halfway done, right? We just took this class right here. Now, what class we take next really depends on what major we're pursuing. So, for example, you could just take statistics, because again, a lot of majors require statistics and kind of be done with it, right? So, you could do that. You could take statistics, because a lot of majors do require statistics. Not every major requires calculus, right? Some require business calculus, some don't require calculus at all. Some only want to take pre-calculus, right? But again, we want to make sure you're taking the right courses. But notice, social science, we only did one category, which we took one of the state requirements for this test, right? You could take a random elective. You could do psychology or, what I taught for years, sociology, which is one of my favorites. But again, you could take one of these two and be done with it. But what if you're going to do business administration? Because for business, they want economics, right? Or maybe they want you to take human growth development, right? So you kind of have to have an idea. This is what I'm saying. Knowing your major, you kind of have to, right? So we come down here. Notice we haven't even touched our science requirements yet, natural science. Here's why. Your major is like if you're pursuing anything in the sciences, right? Like if you're thinking about med school, vet school, PA, physician assistant, nursing, physical therapy, anything like that at all, right? You're going to either take this anatomy and physiology, or you're going to need this BSc 2010, which is like a principles of bio. This is like the bio for majors, the biology for students who are planning to go into the sciences. So if you're thinking, like, for example, I had a student the other day, she was between like forensic science and dental school. Well, for her, it's the same requirement, it doesn't matter. But if you're thinking between like law school and medical school, well, like for law school, they don't care what science you take. Like for law school, you could take this class right here. You could take BSc 1005, which is just general bio, which is like the non-majors bio, the easier one, so to speak. Because for law school, they don't care what your science classes are. But if you want to go to medical school, they do care what your science classes are. So, like, if you're thinking anything in the health sciences field, we need to talk about this, guys, because I don't want you taking the wrong science courses. You take a science course that you don't even need, or you take the wrong science course. Again, this is why your advisor is so important. So, if you're doing nursing, for example, you know it's anatomy one, anatomy two, some chemistry, right? And then electives, we haven't even touched electives because usually your elective credits are in your major, or at least a major you want to pursue. Why? Because your electives is what will help you ensure you have the requirements to transfer to that university you want to go to, right? Now, some students have told me, oh, my plan is I'm gonna just pick an easy major just to transfer. So, for example, they say, oh, I'm gonna find them like for I had a student last semester told me I'm gonna be a political science major because to transfer to UF as a political science major, it's super easy. I need like 3 or 4 classes. That's it. Easy classes. I go, okay, do you want to be a poli sci major? He goes, no, no, no. What I'm gonna do is once I'm at UF, then I'm gonna switch some to my major like in like whatever I want, either business or engineering. And I told him, I said, that's a horrible idea. Because first of all, you're going to be extending your time at UF a lot more, taking a bunch of prereq classes, like it's not going to be helping you at all, right? So, I mean, could you do it? I mean, it happens. Students go in thinking one thing, switch major. I know, for example, like when I started going to college, I was taking pre-med classes. That didn't work out, right? And later on, I had all these like science classes that I took. But again, I took a different path. My major was sociology. That's what I really enjoy. I took a medical sociology course 1 semester, and that was it. It switched my whole life path in a way. It's interesting, right? But sociology courses were just a little bit different, but it wasn't that much harder. So again, it happens. People switch majors all the time. If you switch your major, you won't be the first. Like I remember I had a friend of mine that she worked at FIU, and she would say that the the initial like pre-med courses were always full of students. But as the courses got harder, the groups got smaller, right? People kind of just dropped off along the way because they realized maybe they didn't want to be a doctor. Like their parents told them to become a doctor, right? So again, you could change. You probably will change. You're not the first. You're not the last. Don't feel bad about it, right? You did meet as requirement already, so you're done with first year experience, right? So this is why I'm telling you, like, year one, you could definitely get by without knowing your major, but by year two, you kind of have to have an idea. But again, let's say you're still not sure what you want to do at the end of year one. Listen, don't take a break, right? If you've been doing well, you're passing all your classes, you could take a break and listen, I'm going to take a year off to figure out what I want to do and come back strong. You could do that. I'm not telling you not to, right? Maybe that's the best choice for you. But you also could just finish your AA degree, just get a general AA degree, right? You just go through these categories, pick the quote unquote easier classes, and then you graduate Miami Dade College, right? You could finish your classes, you have your AA degree, and go work, right? Take some time off. I remember I had a student 1 semester that he graduated, didn't know what to do, became a truck driver. He drove trucks for like a year and a half. He made really good money, but came back exhausted. Realized that it wasn't for him. He didn't like it. He was on the road a lot. He driving a lot. He didn't like it. So then he came back to Miami Dade College to complete the prereqs to apply for computer science major at FIU, right? And he even worked it out with the advisor at FIU, where he was able to take at least like two of the prereqs at Miami-Dade College. And once he passed those, he went to FIU and took the rest of the prereqs along with his classes over at FIU. So again, guys, talk to the advisors, right? They're here to help. Yes, there's traditional path you can take, but again, if you don't have a traditional path, somebody's always willing to help you out in some way or another. I mean, trust me, they are there, right? So I'll end it with this. If you need help planning your college courses, the best person to go to is your advisor at whatever school you're attending. I know I focus on Miami-Dade College, but if you're at Broward College, Valencia, the requirements are similar. You have advisors there. Talk to these folks. They're here to help you. If you talk to them, you're still not sure, you have questions, or you just want to talk to somebody else, reach out to us, right? Emails work best. I don't really read comments on stuff. I try not to because it's a waste of time. You start getting into comments, stuff like that. So just send me an email, right? Send us a message, and we'll reach out to you, right? We'll schedule a Zoom appointment. If you're local in South Florida, we can meet on campus. Listen, we're here to help and whatever you need. And I know sometimes it's hard to even ask for help because you don't even know where to start, right? I've had students that will literally sit down with me and be like, I'm so lost. I don't even know what to ask you for help with first, right? That's perfectly fine, right? I've literally sat for an hour or two with a student mapping all these different things out. And these conversations will last not just 1 or 2 hours, but for like multiple weeks, right? There's students that I still to this day in touch with them about their careers, what they're doing. So again, like, don't feel bad. I will never judge you. We will never look down on you or make fun of you, right? And nobody really want education. And at least my theory is that once people achieve some kind of success in life, they want to help others, especially if they lack the help that when they were coming up. I think most people are good people who want to help. I might be biased just because that's what I think. But again, reach out if you need help, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. And obviously, you know the whole routine. If you like this, click the like button, subscribe, share with people you think might be beneficial to them, and let us know how we can help. All right, guys, have a great day.